Good evening, gentlemen. It's Tuesday evening. It's 9 o'clock. It's the 8th of August. Hope everyone's feeling well. The rain or the drizzle is back here in the UK, but never mind. They say better weather's on the way. And if you're watching this on replay, hello, good afternoon, good morning. Please, you could make it, and thanks for watching. Okay, cheers. So anyway, who's in the house? Donald Trump is here, the president. Good evening, mate. Hope all's well. We'll put him on the screen anyway. There you go, Donald Trump. Good evening. Okay, nice to hear from you, mate. You're always welcome to be here anyway. Sean Jones is here. Joe Hart, Martin Ryder. Another rainy day in Mud Island. Yeah, just when you thought the nice weather's on the way, all of a sudden they pull the curtains back and it's cloudy and drizzling and all of that. Sceneries is here. Lord of Dreams, Brian Street, nice to hear from you. Gemini Star, Serge R is here, nice to hear from you. I do believe in fairies. He had a tart and Bakewell today. Bakewell, Mr. Kipling's Bakewell tart. You see, so sometimes you have to be careful of stuff like that. I remember once, I had a packet of 6 Bakewell tarts. 6, and I was having a cup of coffee. I thought, I fancy a Bakewell tart with my coffee. Now, they're very, very high in calories, those things. So I opened the pack of 6 Bakewell tarts, and within about 20 minutes, I'd plowed through the whole lot of them. My God, oh my! You gotta be careful. He's a bugger, that Mr. Kipling. What wandered at 299? Nice of it. Oh, he's in Mindoro in the Philippines. Okay, hope you're enjoying yourself there, mate. Yogi Bird is here. Hi, Ed, good evening, gang. Nice to see you, Ed. Have you seen what Lee Anderson has said? If they don't like the barge, F off back to France. Yeah, okay. I mean, that barge looks very, very comfy. I'm pretty sure that barge, if you're in America or Canada or whatever, you don't know what we're talking about. We're talking about this barge that's going to house 500 asylum seekers, which is the tip of the iceberg, really, because there's thousands of them coming over there. And apparently it's only had a tiny little handful up to now. But that barge looks quite comfortable. It looks more comfortable than some of the accommodations some people stay in. Looks all right. Like I said, if they don't like it. What was the funny thing I heard? Apparently, some of them were saying they don't like being on water, apart from the fact they come over on a dinghy. Ginger Joe, nice to hear from you, mate. Nice to hear from you. Super nice to hear from you. Paul Hoskin being smutty. Paul Hoskin, the bar girls call me the gardener because I love a trim bush. Oh, you dirty old man. David Martins, nice to hear from you, mate. Ian Bowden, good evening, Ed. In and out again tonight from a very damp Heathrow. Okay, oh well, good. At least you're doing a worthwhile job anyway. Sounds good. I worked at Heathrow many years ago. They weren't impressed when I crashed Concorde into one of the terminals. Oh, that's lovely. Cadbury's hot chocolate, lovely stuff. Oh, that's beautiful. Paul Scott, evening at you all. They're not kicked you out of that street yet. Are you talking about this street here? That's in Athens. That is. That's in Athens. Who's that? Carl D. How's the hot chocolate, Eddie? You sure it's not Chang? Oh, I don't like Chang. I don't like that shit. That's one of the beers that really put me out. I don't like that Chang. It's all horrible, that. Ian Bowden, the ice on a Bakewell is very old sugar. Yeah, I know that's why I can't really eat a Bakewell tart because that incident when I just pull out the old horrendous, absolutely bloody horrendous. Wayne Ritchie, nice to ever. Hi, Eddie and everyone else. You're looking great. I took my 2 daughters to watch the new Barbie movie. They loved it, and I didn't. Well, I think it's more aimed at them than it is you. But anyway, apparently it's been a real blockbuster. She's a tasty chick. What's her name? Margot Robbie, that blonde one who plays. Oh, she's a tasty chick. Yeah, I like her. Ian Barton, that politician's statement is exactly my own personal view. Absolutely, get tough. Let them know that we're not going to be a soft touch for much longer. For much longer. Who the hell's this? Let's finish setting up. Yeah, dismiss. Okay, dismiss. I'm offering to set up my computer. Yours travelled. He was travelling into Spain by now. He's staying in some lovely accommodation there. Yours travels. Evening, folks. How's everyone? Slept funny last night and kicked my neck and shoulder pain off. So now decided to book a nice hotel for 8 nights rather than driving a lot. Chill town. Good for you, mate. Good for you. And if you want to if you want to come on tonight, I can always drop the link on Facebook, and hopefully you'll come on, because Yoz has got some great information to give us about his travels down through France and Spain, and now he's comparing it to Thailand and how much more expensive it is. It makes Thailand still look like a very, very cheap country. So if you want to come on, just let me know, and I'll drop the link to you. Dave Andrew, hello, Eddie, counting down the days back in Bangkok for 4 weeks. Good for you, mate. Good for you. Good for you. McLaren is here. Nice to hear from you. Let's see. Life Utopia. I saw 6 Bakewell tarts with £3 in Sainsbury's. Too pricey for me. Okay. Mickey Barks, yeah, nice to hear from you. Yeah, Richie Rich. Seems a waste of money. If I ever come back to live in UK, I would get into politics and send the buggers back and use the Royal Marines and Royal Navy and tow back to France. Yeah, but would you have a say in that? I mean, you can't really do anything. Other people will, and other acts and legal acts will come out of nowhere and prevent you from doing. I'm sure there's a lot of politicians who would like to do that, but they can't. Their hands are tied. There's so many laws and stuff that say that they can't do it. So John Atkinson, even to Mr. Steady, any thoughts on the new Walking Street changes, signs, etc.? Well, I like Walking Street in Pattaya, but I'm not there now, so I can't really comment what it looks like. I mean, I would hope that it hasn't changed that much, because I like the razzmatazz of Walking Street. If they're changing it, it's got to be for a reason. But I like Walking Street no matter what. Oh, lovely stuff, and I like hot chocolate as well. Mark Saunders, yay, Barbie Birds is a hottie. She starred alongside Leo DiCaprio in Wolf of Wall Street. That's a wonderful movie, The Wolf of Wall Street. Absolutely terrific movie. Yeah, one of Martin Scorsese's best of his later movies. That's a terrific. Was that Margot? Well, did she play the foreign blonde one in that movie? Is that right? Well, I'll have to watch that again, because it's such a great movie, that one, The Wolf of Wall Street. I'll have to watch that again sometime. I've seen it twice. It's probably worth seeing for the third time. I do believe in fairness. £5.75 at a big tart bagels original pudding shop. But little will sort you out for 6 small ones. I'm sure there's some double entendres in there, isn't there? A big tart, sort you out, small ones. There's some double entendres in there somewhere. I'm sure there are. Matthew Cartwright, nice to hear from you. Nice to hear from you. Paul Laskin's being smutty again. Lovely when the jam dribbles down your chin. Okay. Brian Street, have gypsies got the right idea? And do we have some gypsy blood in us for our aids to travel? Well, I mean, the gypsies, I mean, what are they all about? What are they all about? I mean, where I live, and probably where you live as well, occasionally, they appear, don't they? When it's least expected, that they just appear in their caravans. And they appear in their caravans and they take up residency in a field which they haven't paid for, and a lot of them drive nice cars and like they travel, and all of a sudden they decide this is where we're gonna settle here, and they terrorize the neighbor. The neighbors are frightened of them, and they don't have the same rules as you and me. I mean, did he get a wash? I mean, I probably do. Some of them are probably quite hygienic, really. I mean, they probably get a wash. I mean, gypsies, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, McLaren, Clive. What's the point of the migrant barge? It's a high security site that the migrants can come and leave at any time. Put in inverted commas. The migrants come and leave at any time and encouraged to return before the 11 p.m. That means they can abscond, surely. I mean, I actually think that's very, very strict. They've got to return before the 11 p.m. I mean, for Christ's sake, bloody Cinderella got until midnight, didn't she? You know what I mean? Yeah. Nicholas, nice to hear from you. Nice to hear from you, mate. Mr. LDR, Wolf of Wall, okay, fine. McLaren says, just send them back. Now, anyone who says we talk too much about this dingy, it is a bastard. We need to put the message out, that we're not a soft. But the thing is, it's a trickle. I mean, no one up to now has been sent to Rwanda. Last time I looked, about 15 people, not 50, 15 people yesterday actually went onto that barge. It's there's thousands and thousands and tens of thousands who are still having their asylum things processed. Yeah. It's not gonna solve anytime soon. Richie Rich says we would need to leave EU laws which we still have to follow. Minute we told them back, they will stop coming. Australia did it, and it worked with Indonesia. Just need the person to lead the country. Okay, Richie Rich with a backbone. Okay. What Paul Hoskin, what do the migrants eat? Probably better than you and me, do you, mate? Yeah, Mickey Barkshaw, congratulations off the source, Ed. And do you think that's it for you? Well, we'll see what happens when I get abroad in a hot climate, whenever that will be. I mean, for now, I've been off the beer, the booze, the total booze, and I've been making big savings in my shopping for 4 months now, more than 4 months. So, no plans to go back to it. Oh, that's lovely, that is. Gemini Star, our politicians should be flogged in public, only if they've done anything bad. Crypto Crisco, Rwanda is a scam. Wake up, mate. Okay. Ian Barton, when the barge is full, can you imagine all the Weymouth parks and town benches having groups of young, unemployed men loitering around on board? How awful for the locals. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 500 people. 500 people on there. It's only the tip of the iceberg. That with regards to the asylum problem. But even so, 500 people congregating in a small town in Dorset still seems very, very intimidating. Brian Street, okay, they should be okay. Fair comment, Brian. Fair comment. Gemini Star, migrants get served alarm. Okay. Mr. LDR, rabbits are most likely to take over the world with their reproductive habits. I'm the rabbit of Walking Street. Oh, that's a movie I'd like to see. Ian Barton, they even get private taxis back to the hotel. Whoops, I mean barge. If they missed the last, but they're probably living better than some of the bloody people in this country. They're bloody awful. It is absolutely awful. Anyway, we're going to talk about a couple of things. So, what we're going to talk about today is the 60th anniversary of the Great Train Robbery. And this was a train robbery. I was only like 1 year old when that happened. So they can't accuse me. Don't accuse me of being involved in that because I was only 1 year old when that happened in '63. But anyway, the Great Train Robbery in the 1960s, for years after, even from when I heard about it, and it was, it seemed to be in the news for years after the Great Train Robbery. And it names that as Bruce, what's his name? Buster Edwards, Ronnie Biggs, of course. Apparently, Ronnie Biggs, the guy who escaped for the longest and went to live in Rio de Janeiro, apparently he played only a minor role in the Great Train Robbery. But apparently, what they done 60 years ago, they robbed from a train £2.4 million, of which in today's money would be about 45 million in today's money. So it was a big, but the thing is, there's a bit of a romance about the Great Train Robbery. There's been movies made about it. There was one with Stanley Bacon in the 1960s, and Ronnie Biggs became something of a celebrity. Buster Edwards was played by Phil Collins in a movie in the late 1980s. So there's been a bit of a romance on it. So the question is, let's get that off there. The question is, should we ever glamorize criminals? Should we ever do that? Because there's been a lot of folklore about the Great Train Robbery. It wasn't perceived as a bad crime, even though a poor old train driver actually lost his life. He was cost over the head by one of the robbers. Which is very, very sad. So these were criminals. These were hardened. They weren't the kind of criminals that you get nowadays. These were good old fashioned British thugs. Gangsters from London who committed this crime, and a lot of people admired them. I mean, that film Buster, was starring Phil Collins, was a big hit. Lots of people went to see that. Ronnie Biggs, some people love Ronnie Biggs. They love reading about him, and he become a bit of a folk hero. But the fact is, what they did was a dreadful crime. So should we ever glamorize criminals? Let's see. Okay, Nicholas. Yeah, remember to hit the night. Remember to hit the like button, people. Okay, thank you. Hit the like button, please. It does help the stream to go out there. Mr. Mass Slavery. Okay, nice to hear from you, mate. Paul Hoskin. There's loads of uninhabited islands in Scotland. Yeah, but you gotta have the Scottish permission before you put them there. Mark Saunders, roll on next month. I'm back to Pattaya. Have you any plans for your usual Southeast Asia trip? I haven't planned anything just yet, but come the winter time, winter time, I'm just pleased that I'm off the booze right now. Citizen Mikey, Ronnie Biggs, the mad shagger. Well, he went to Brazil and he was probably shagging a lot of Brazilian girls. Ronnie Biggs is probably the most famous name to come out of the Great Train Robbery, because he was the one who was always in the news. I mean, he disappeared from prison in the 1960s, and then they found him. He reappeared in Rio de Janeiro in the 1970s, but because of a red tape, they couldn't extradite him back to this country because he had his son out there. So yeah, I'm sure Ronnie Biggs shagged an awful lot of people out there, because he become like a bit of a celebrity, really. Even the Sex Pistols went and met him out there in Rio. Yeah, Yoz is telling us about his TV. Options for the bars, PS5 or Xbox, 55 TV or 65. Choice of 3 Sky packages with full sports. memory foam or sprung mattress. And here's you paying 110 quid a night for a bloody hotel. And look at these bastards here getting it for free. It just doesn't seem fair. Mark Saunders, only in movies. Okay, well, that's an answer to the question. We should only ever glamorize them, only in movies. Because when you think about it, when I've heard the argument that, we shouldn't glamorize criminals even in movies. But when you think about it, what films would you watch? If you take any movies which glamorize criminals, you ban all movies which glamorize criminals, what are you left with? I mean, how many people have watched The Godfather or Scarface or whatever? Or even that movie, what's it? Not The Craze. That was terrible. That was all the bollocks, that movie. The other one, the one with Tom Hardy in it, Legend. That was a really good movie. I mean, the fact is, if you take conflict out of drama, if you take criminals out of it, you haven't got a movie anymore. Grant Hunt, nice to hear from you, mate. Nice to hear from you. I've got Australia in the chat. Ginger Joe, the first one glamorized was Robin Hood. Oh, he was a bastard, man. He was a bastard. I mean, Robin Hood steals from the rich, gives to the poor. Does anyone seriously believe that? Oh, Jesus Christ. I wouldn't want him living next door to me. Gemini Star, Scarface the movie, perfect example. Absolutely. I'll tell you what we're going to do for the moment. For the moment, quickly, I'm just going to refill my hot chocolate. Okay, so where are we now? Paul Hoskin needs a dentist. No, yeah, sounds about right. Mickey Berkshire. The Brinks Matter Heathrow was much bigger. I mean, in real terms, in today's money, how much did they get from it? I mean, the fact is, people like reading stuff. I've watched a documentary about that sort of thing, and it's fascinating. I mean, if you take drama and villains out of it, then you haven't got a movie anymore. You have you don't. I mean, do you really want to know? Do you really want to see movies about the Waltons all the time? Good night, John Boy. Good night, Mary Lou and Sue Ellen and all of that. No, you need villains. People like hearing about villains. I mean, the great train robbers were not good guys. They were bastards. I mean, one of them, cost the driver, and apparently there was two of them, those drivers who died within a few years, and that was truly dreadful. That was truly dreadful. But come on, let's be realistic. Who hasn't thought about robbing a bank? Whatever. I mean, even a few years ago, those old geezers. Those old criminals who went into the Hatton Garden. I mean, there was a lot of people admired them. They thought, Jesus, what a great story that is. Andrew Hammond, I totally admire Frank Abagnale. I don't know that one. Someone's telling loads about. I've never heard of that one. Okay, Ginger Joe, no, we should not. It's like the nonsense about the craze. Love their mom. Always said please, and even before they shut. Yeah, I know. I don't believe they were not good guys. They were. I don't believe they were fucking good. I wouldn't want them living next door to me. Ian Bowden, if they gave some of the money directly to British people in need, then fair play to them. Did they? Yeah, I mean, do you believe these stories that you hear now and again about these vicious criminals who who from their prison cell donate thousands of pounds to some poor little child who's dying of leukemia? Do you believe all of that? Do you believe that's really, really sincere? Because I don't. And where did he get all this money from? Yeah, I don't believe any of that. Scooter Springsteen, nice to hear from you. Yeah, Ivan, George Floyd was glamorized, treated as a hero, pointed a gun at a pregnant woman, scumbag he is or was. I don't think he was glamorized, treated as a hero. I think he was treated as a victim. He was a victim, and really, he probably. He probably came across lots of victims, a victim of himself. Paul Hoskin, is there any uninhabited islands in UK? Why are you looking for a dentist there? Yeah, super nice. We should glamorize criminals if it's morally right. If it's morally right, yeah, like Robin. No, but I don't believe he was. I don't think he even existed, did he? McLaren, we glamorized Prince Andrew as a member of the royal family. Well, not anymore. We glamorize Prince Andrew in the days when he was actually glamorous. Excuse me, but if you go back to the late 1970s when Prince Andrew was about 20 years, 18, 20, when he was in the Navy, and he was skydiving, and he was shagging loads of fit models, and Prince Andrew was seen as a breath of fresh air after Prince Charles. Prince Charles, the older brother who liked talking to plants, and then Prince Andrew came along, and he was skinny dipping with these glamorous models and waving his underwear in the air, and people loved Prince Andrew. Who didn't want to be Prince Andrew in those days, but he kind of lost the plot and became a bit pointless later on, didn't he? But he was a cool guy at one time. David Coleman, hi Eddie, I'm late again. Oh, okay. Well, you're welcome anyway. You're welcome anyway. Hope all's well in Toronto. Lars Lecken, I read whole England is full of those migrants. Beautiful country, and all for nothing. Yeah. I mean, is there any towns that you can go in when you don't? I mean, a lot of immigrants, contribute. They're wonderful people, and and they contribute a lot to society. But it's the illegal ones, and especially the ones who have bad intentions that shouldn't be here. But it's like that in Europe, mate. The whole of Europe. You go even German cities and France and other places, Paris and all that. You can't get away from them. Yogi Bear, Ronnie. I think you mean Biggs. Ronnie Biggs did the pop video, the Sex Pistols, yeah, and also the Sex Pistols. They done a song with Ronnie Biggs, didn't he? Can't remember the song. But the B side, very, very, very tasteless. Was called "Cosh the Driver." Very, very, very tasteless. Very, very bad taste. Very bad taste. Oh, I mean, when that film Buster came out, that was actually a very, very watchable, very, very enjoyable film with Phil Collins in it. But if you remember that Phil Collins in the 1980s, Phil Collins just got in everything. I mean, he was always on the TV, and he was friends with everyone, including Prince Charles. Phil Collins was friends with Prince Charles in the days when Charlie Boy was was perceived as a nice guy, and all of that. And apparently, when that film Buster had its premiere, Prince Charles was invited to the premiere of that film, and only when his advisors told him that he shouldn't go to it because this is a film that glamorizes criminals. So Prince Charles shouldn't go to that movie. And Phil Collins, I seem to recall, he said, "Yeah, okay, I do understand that." I think he said to his friend Prince Charles, "It's okay if you don't turn up. We understand and all of that." But that film Buster definitely glamorized the criminal, no doubt about it. Scooter Springsteen, Eddie, you're a celebrity shagger in Pattaya. Why have those massage girls been asking about me, Abdi? Stephen Tutty, good evening, everyone. The Cray twins had a movie made about their lives. Actually, there was two movies. The worst one was the bloody Spandau Ballet version. Jesus Christ, that one came around about 90 and that. God almighty. You make a movie about the Crays, and who do you put playing Ronnie and Reggie? The bloody Spandau Ballet. Oh my God, it wasn't a badly made movie, but it was a load of bollocks because that film was so corny. It was so corny, and it made out that all the vicious, violent acts that the Crays committed were justified because the other guy pulled a knife out on him first. It made out that they were wonderful people and they loved the mother, and there was doves flying in the air, and there was all kind of symbolism involving alligators and all of this bollocks. I mean, that film was a load of rubbish. But the film that came out a few years ago with that wonderful, wonderful actor, Tom Hardy, called Legend, that is an infinitely better movie. Tom Hardy should have won an Oscar for that film. He should have won 2 Oscars because he plays both Ronnie and Reggie as totally different characters, and he plays both of them absolutely wonderful. That first movie with the Craze, the Spandau Ballet version, thumbs down. But Legends with Tom Hardy, if you haven't seen it, check that out. That is a really, really good movie, really good film. Richie Rich says, if we didn't glamorize crime, we wouldn't have the Cray film Legend. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he did. Absolutely. Very, very fine actor. Excellent actor. Let's see. Buster is murdered 2 years after being released. Buster Edwards murdered are you saying that he was murdered 2 years after release? Didn't I hear that he ended up selling fruit and vegetables in a market somewhere and he ended up hanging himself? That's what I heard. That's what I see that he called. Yeah, I do believe in fairies. We couldn't rob a train. They're always on strike. Good point. John Mitch, nice to hear from you, John Mitch. Ronnie Biggs made money giving tours of his house in Brazil and talks about his life on the run. Is Biggs, and the thing about Biggs, he stayed out in Brazil throughout his life, but he was eventually flown back to England to use. Didn't he come back to use the health service here? I don't know whether it's the national health or whatever. He eventually came back here towards the end of his life. I think he's dead now, isn't he? Yeah, that's it. But Biggs became a celebrity. I seem to recall one article in a newspaper where Biggs was in Brazil, and he was talking about if ever any celebrities came to Brazil, who he would like to invite to his house in Brazil. And the guy was a bloody criminal, he wasn't a celebrity. Gemini Star, Ronnie Biggs is unrecognisable after his face surgery. I wouldn't say that because I've seen an old picture of Biggs when he was young at the time of the train robbery, and you can still see the similarities. Yeah, David Coleman, Robin Hood did so much for England as part of the history and the mythology of the great nation that is the UK. Okay, so you knew him then, did you? He didn't. I don't think he actually existed, did he? But yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Esan man is here. If you did a big robbery like that today, would it be enough to get a Thailand retirement or elite visa next? Hey, that'd be an idea. That'd be an idea, wouldn't it? Nice to hear from you, mate. Ian Bowden. Ian Bowden. Some people seem to glamorize Bojo, and he is a criminal in my views. How did that man become prime minister? I mean, do you know anyone who actually likes Bojo? Do you know anyone who actually think he made a worthwhile prime minister? How the hell did he become prime minister? Bizarre. David Coleman. I hope this chat is more upbeat to us. You didn't like that one. Yeah, sceneries. I loved James Cagney in gangster movies. Fair enough. And you look at a movie like Goodfellas. I mean, if you met Joe Pesci in real life, could you actually meet Joe Pesci and not think of the violent criminal that he played in Goodfellas? David Marchant, Edward G. Robinson, Little Caesar, nearly 100 years old. Yeah, some of those old movies are getting on a bit. John Mitch, is that right? Is that right? I think it was bloody criminal that he became prime minister. To be honest with you. David Coleman, most people think that guys like us that go to Thailand are real criminals. Most people think that. I don't think most people think that. Not most people, David. Think that guys are real. No, they don't. They think there's. I mean, the only people who hate guys who go to Thailand are, old sweaty old women like Lisa Dale who like to think that they've got us by the balls when really we've got a get out clause by going to Thailand. You know what I mean? One that is giving there Paul Hoskin some dental advice. Come to the Philippines, Paul. Fillings cost about a tenner. Okay, fair enough. Richie Rich, Craze used to put their name to charity events and took most of the money when they were in prison. Okay, yeah, okay. It was all a load of corn, really, all a load of bloody corn. Crypto Chris, I'm not sure that I can comment on that one, but there's his comment on the screen there. Okay. Vin Valentine, Mark Reed Chopper should be glamorized. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Bottle Baby, vigilantes are a glamorous form of criminals. I mean, is there a real celebrity? Is there a really famous real life vigilante that you can think of? I can't think of one offhand. I can think of in the movies, Charles Bronson and people like that, but not a real life, a real life famous vigilante. I can't really think of one. Not really. Yeah, Paul Hoskin. I wonder if any migrants are Albanian dentists. I mean, that'd be interesting. I mean, if one of them was, and he gave you a bargain, bargain bit of service on your teeth, would you then change your mind about our, immigrants? There you go, Matthew Cartwright. A lot of Albanians work in Turkish barbers and launder drug money. Okay, fair comment. Gemini Star, if we invade their countries, they sure to invade ours. Yeah, okay, okay, fair enough. Alexander, Eddie, mate, not been on your channel for a few months. Just seen you alive. You look like a different fella, younger, better skin, lost a bit of weight. Can I have a bit of what you're taking? Well, it's what I'm not taking. I'm not taking any alcohol. I mean, I put it together that in terms of calories, I was probably taking well over 1,000 calories a day. in alcohol, beer, and other things. Probably about 10,000 calories a week. So it's taking its toll. Thanks anyway. Ian Bowden, Ed, random question. Do you know what the band 10cc is named about? Not off it, but they were really, really good. Very, very talented group of musicians. Extremely talented bunch of musicians. Mazza, good evening, Adidas merry men. Going to listen on my way home from work. Enjoy. Okay, thanks, mate. Cheers. Thank you. Thank you. Nice to hear from you, Mazza. Crypto Chris Card. Great train robbers cost the driver and brought their own man to drive the train who had no experience of diesels. All they needed to do was put a gun on the driver and tell him to move the train. Never forget that it was very, very sad what happened to the driver. Very, very sad. Very, very bad and very sad. Yogi Bear, the song was No One Is Innocent. And it was with the last two remaining Sex Pistols, and Ronnie was the singer. Really? But the B side of that was called Costa Driver, so that was very, very bad. David Coleman. What about Bill Sykes in the movie Oliver? Lol, he was he was a fictional character, but Oliver was wonderful, and I thought that Oliver Reed was so perfectly cast as Bill Sykes. I mean, you couldn't have chosen a better actor. Absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Legan, I had most old movies showed what it cost the criminals. Bonnie and Clyde, White Heat, Dirty Harry movie, and The Godfather said, yeah, they all get the comeuppance in the long run, don't they? I mean, Bonnie and Clyde, of those ones, Bonnie and Clyde were the only real people, but they were bastards. They were. And by the way, I mean, the Warren Beatty, The Art of Pen version, which is a classic movie. There is also a very, very good film called Highwayman on Netflix with Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson, and that is a superb retelling of the Bonnie and Clyde story. So if you haven't seen that one, well worth a look. Sisters and Mikey, okay, fair enough, fair comment. Bobby Crush is here. Nice to hear from you, Bobby. Nice to hear from you. Yeah, John Mitch. Buster was a flower seller outside a London rail station for a few years. That's what I heard. But he hung himself eventually, didn't he? Didn't he hang himself because his life had just come to that basically. Bobby Crush. If a journalist turned up at Ronnie Biggs' place with a packet of Bird's custard powder, he'd give them an interview. He really missed the British staples. Yeah, it's probably it's probably certain things that he missed about England. Well, wasn't it one of the reasons that Buster Edwards came because he was in Mexico? One of the reasons he came back is when England won the World Cup. I mean, he wanted to be. He realised he was English, according to that movie. When England won the World Cup, he when England won the World Cup, he suddenly realised he's English and he wanted to be. He didn't want to be on the run, so he willingly came back to England again, didn't he? And gave himself up. Yeah, Mister. Nice to hear from you, Mister. Nice to hear from you, Mister. Rem boy. Errol Flynn was the best Robin Hood. He had a lovely big. Oh, I'm sure you've had bigger up your ass, mate. I'm sure you've had bigger. I'm sure that was fairly average compared to what you're used to. Anyway, Eastern man, Richard Branson. Eastern man, Richard Branson. Okay, can't put that on the screen. Can't put that on the screen. I've never been on Virgin's trains, but I'm not heard a good report about them. Yeah, Bobby Crush. Boris became a prime minister through a democratic process called the general election, unlike Sunak, Truss, and Gordon Brown. Yeah, that's fair comment. But do you know anyone who voted for Boris? I mean, it defies belief. David Coleman, Ronnie Biggs came back to him because he had cancer and it was the only place he could get free treatment. Okay, yeah, fair comment. Fair, and they gave it to him. And they gave it to him after what he did. And all the years away. Jesus Christ. Brian Street, is town going to change with the new visa rules? Are they going to? Oh, I don't know. They keep swapping and bloody changing, don't they? Lester Bangs, the police themselves were often responsible for sensationalizing crimes by using the press, particularly in the US. Cops would encourage headlines like the Black Dahlia to keep it in the public mind. Okay, fair enough. David Cohen, a lot of very bad criminals from England go to retire in Thailand and try to hide out. Do they? I couldn't name it and any of them, to be honest with you. I've heard about them going to Spain in the past, but not really so much Thailand. Bobby Crush, I don't get any dental work in Thailand. I go there to fill women's cavities, not mine. Okay, fair enough, fair comment. Oh, Boris Johnson, he's heard what I was saying about him. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Yours Travels, do you want to come on the show and tell us a little bit about your travels? Yours, you'd be most welcome. Yours Travels. Brian, Brian can't Brian can't see much change with fees until they actually get a government in place. I'll send yours travels the link. I'll send yours travels the link, and if he wants to come on, he's welcome to. He's welcome to. I'll make a first attempt at this. That first attempt doesn't always work. Okay, there you go. I'll send you the link anyway. So if you want to come on, yours, you're most welcome to. Okay, so yeah, Bobby, because you're not giving him a penny. I don't buy a kebab, a newspaper, or a haircut from him. I'm not paying for the demise of our own people. Well said. Well said. Well said. Wanderer 299. I watched a Spandau craze on video last night and really enjoyed it. Didn't think it glamorized him too much. Showed Ron's wife's suicide as being his fault. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I think it was really corny, that movie. The Tom Hardy version is far better. Far better. Super offences. Mark Brandon Chopper Reed was an Australian convicted criminal, gang member, and author. Reed wrote a series of fictional crime novels and children's books. The 2000 film Chopper is based on his real life. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Okay, anyway, it's squeaky door time. I'm going to be back in a moment. Okay. Yoz Travels is in a bar. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Cheers to you anyway, Yoz. Anyway, you enjoy yourself. He's got some really fascinating information anyway, Mark. So yeah, Yoz. So anyway, cheers to you anyway. Have a great time anyway. This I'm getting really, really bizarre. This is Co-op Diet Indian tonic water. How about that? It's quite tasty, actually. Quite tasty. Let me see now. Let's see. David Cohen, Basil Ratbaum. Was a fencing expert, and every time he had to fence with Errol Flynn, the movie Robin Hood, he stabbed Errol Flynn. He stabbed Errol Flynn. Was that? You sure Errol Flynn was using his bloody sword though? He wasn't using something else. Okay, Seaside Freddy. Considering applying for the retirement fees as soon as possible, then I should be grandfathered in when they tighten the requirements. Okay, good for you, mate. Anyway, Mark Oleg, nice to hear from you, Mark. Basil was the best Sherlock. Yeah, Basil Rathbone was bloody good. I mean, I love those. The thing about those old Sherlock Holmes movies, especially The Hound of the Baskervilles, wonderful. That was wonderful. That one. Basil Rathbone was the perfect Sherlock Holmes. I think the Nigel Bruce tended to exaggerate a bit, didn't he? Exaggerated the character a little, Dr. Watson a little bit. But they were great movies, they were. Anyway, I'm going to put this number on the screen if anyone's interested. If anybody's interested in phoning up, I'm going to put this number on the screen. If anyone's got any opinions about anything, as long as it's not slanderous or anything that's going to cause anyone to sue me. So anyway, okay, let's just sit. So anyway, another thing that I wanted to talk about is I was watching a lot of we're talking about robberies and all of that. I was watching a lot of YouTube videos, and a lot of them were American based, about armed robbers who go into supermarkets and point a gun at the at the at the till and say hand over your money or I'll shoot you and all of that. And I seen one video where a robber who actually had a fake gun ended up getting shot dead by a customer, and it's all very 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 bad. So the question is, I mean, would you actually, if you worked in one of these places in a gas station and all these armed robbers came in pointing a gun at you, would you be prepared to die for somebody else's money? How exactly would you react? I mean, one guy who worked in I think it was a supermarket. He just handed the money over. The guy pointed a gun at him. He just handed the money over. It's not his money, so he's not going to die for it. And the thing is, it saves a lot of the shop if they didn't have better security. Another one, a guy who had his own business, a youngest guy, stabbed one of the people. And see, the thing is, in this country, if a shop owner stabbed a person who's trying to rob him, then it would be, he'd probably be put in prison for it. But in America, it seems to be the thing to do. So that's the question. The question is. That's the question anyway. Would you risk death for someone else's money? Let's have a little look. Let me see now. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Toby Price says for $7 an hour, I would hand over the dosh. Yeah, I think I would as well. I mean, it's just, I mean, really, my heart goes out to the people who work in these places. Where I live in the local co-op, a local bloody co-op. There's young girls who work in some of these shops. They've been a victim of armed robbery. There's a shop not very far from where I live, where these armed robbers went into the shop, climbed over the counter, and attacked the poor guy with a hammer. They attacked him with the hammer, and they ended up getting away with a couple of bottles of vodka. I mean, some of these people are drugged out of their minds. I mean, if you were the owner of the shop, I think you, you would see it differently. But if you were somebody who worked there, as Toby says, for $7 an hour, Gemini Star says never. Yogi Bear, is that all you get? Yeah, John Mitch, I would not sacrifice my life for someone else's money. For that matter, I'd hand over my own money. I mean, when you see some of the destruction that these robbers cause in shops, wrecking things and stealing and causing mayhem, it looks dreadful. But the people who own these stores, you would think that they would have better protection for the staff. I mean, if they don't, yours travels never. Wouldn't risk death for my own money. Okay, fair enough, fair comment. Peter Barb, how did you get on with the bank? Oh, I'll come back to that in a minute. I forgot about that. I'll come back to that in a minute. We'll talk about that in a minute. So anyway, so that is the question. Would you risk death for someone else's money? I've spent else's wrong. I've spelled that wrong before anyone. Oh yeah, this one, humongous. Have you seen the recent video of the Sikh guy absolutely going to town with the broom and the robber could barely walk at the end? Yes, I did see that. I thought that was bloody hilarious, that one. I did see it. Anyway, somebody's phoning up here. Someone's phoning. Who we got here?
Is that Mr. Edward Sweeney?
Yes, okay, nice to hear from. I think we got Barat on the phone.
Hello. My name is Andrew
Aladdin. So if a robber came in and pointed a gun, you would give him Aladdin, would you? You would give him Aladdin. I'd give him Aladdin.
Aladdin, negative or positive?
Well, that would confuse him. Just tell him that he's both. Tell him he's both Aladdin negative and Aladdin positive, and that'll confuse him.
Yes, right. Yes. I'm from the great country of Wadia.
Wadia, yeah, okay, fair enough. Sounds like a lovely place.
Yes. We have a very strict policy of migrants.
Yes.
Migrants, immigration.
Yeah.
And we behead anybody that crosses the border of Wadia.
Now, imagine if we beheaded any illegal immigrants in this country, you'd have a lot of headless people, like a headless people bloody wandering around.
You have a lot of
Headless chicken.
You have a lot of headless chicken in Westminster.
yeah, okay, absolutely. So, what would you do if you were in a shop and you were working in a shop? And somebody came in and pointed a gun at you, would you hand over the money, or would you say no? I'm working here, so you're not having the money. Would you risk your own life for someone else's money?
Hang them, behead them.
Behead them, okay, behead. Yeah. Yours Travel says, only ever been in that position once in Mexico City when a taxi driver pulled a knife on me. Just handed him the money. Was only 22 and shot myself. Couldn't laugh. That's absolutely dreadful. A taxi driver, yeah, they're quite notorious. For kidnapping people. They are absolutely dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. Okay. So anyway, what else do you want to talk about? Anyway, Barat, what do you want to talk about? What do you think about the barges? What do you think about the barges?
It's a farce, isn't it? It's a farce.
I think it's a trickle. It's a trick. I mean, the thing is, the people who are actually going on this barge up tonight are a tiny, tiny, infinitesimal amount of people compared to all the. It's like, you know, there's apparently there's 100,000 or so who are waiting their asylum applications. There's 50,000 that are currently in hotels at the taxpayers' expense. And there's 15 that have boarded the barge as of yesterday.
The point I was making earlier,
yeah,
they supposedly are meant to get back at 11 p.m. every evening.
Yeah.
It's not a curfew. It's not a curfew. They don't have to. They don't have to. So what stops them from going off into the community and buggering off?
I wonder. I mean, I've seen some protesters about the barge, you know, in Dorset, and they're saying, you know, it's inhumane. We welcome the refugees. Do you know what, Clive? I actually reckon there's a few wongers out there. There's a few sad women who fancy a bit of.
Do you know what it reminds me of?
Go on, yeah.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Close Encounters.
Welcome all aliens.
Yeah, stop and be friendly. Absolutely. But I reckon there's some wongers there. There's some lonely old women who've seen pictures of all these nice, virile young foreign men and thought, wow, I'll give them a bed for the night. I bet you there's
You watched the BBC yesterday, didn't you?
I did watch.
There was this middle-aged woman.
Yeah.
Probably, you know, 50s, late 50s, 60 or whatever.
Yeah.
Saying welcome or something. Like, yeah, you saw that, did you?
I've seen it on the Sky News. I don't watch the BBC. But but I know it looked to me like there was a few wongers again. I bet you their motive. Always question people's motivations. Those women, they probably want to invite some of those around. They probably want to invite them around to their home for you know, snuggle up next to them. You know, there's some.
The point is, if we were on like a boat in the what is it, the Bay of Thailand or whatever?
Yeah.
And the Gulf of Thailand, sorry. And we're washed up to shore like on in Pattaya.
Yeah.
We just get frog marched. You just get frog marched to the police station.
Yeah.
In fact, immigration has been called. You get sent back to Barbie.
Yeah.
You know, the airport. And you just get sent back to Britain.
Yeah.
At your own expense.
Absolutely.
Why are we soft? We're so soft.
Well, this is it. I mean, we are soft. I mean, but I've heard the phrase "soft touch Britain" being bounded around a fair bit the last few days, and this is what we really need to, really need to be make people aware of. I mean, the reason they're coming is because we are a soft touch, and we need to put the message out that we're not going to be a soft touch. I mean, this barge. I mean, it may be a bit of a farce now, but if it starts gaining ground, it is a visual impression that, you know, you're going to be put on this. And what's going to happen? I mean, okay, they're going to be kept on this barge for a while. Most of them will probably end up in Britain. Does anyone seriously think that they're going to be sent back to wherever they came from?
And I'll be honest, to be honest, Rishi Sunak.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's probably born in Britain and all the rest.
Oh, he is, yeah.
He's got Indian heritage, and he's effing wealthy at the end of the day. But I tell you what, I see the problem with it. The problem with the migration and the problem with he's seeing more that there's a problem than any of the others. I think, and he's trying. It's like you said, his hands are tied.
Yeah, absolutely.
His hands are tied behind his back with all the bloody do-gooders and all the bloody woke people saying, "Oh, no, got them all in," and all the rest of it. He can't let everybody in at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The name's criminals at the end of the day. They've got to do checks on them.
Yeah.
So that takes probably weeks, months, I'm sure, like, through Interpol and stuff like that. You don't know who here in, don't know if they're terrorists. There were people that you probably, you can imagine.
Oh, okay. Let's do the quick math. I mean, how many barges are we going to need? All the people. There's about 50,000 at the moment. It's about 50,000 on these in the hotels at the moment. So how many barges are we going to need like that in order to shove all the ones in the hotel onto the barges? I mean, I can't even begin to think of the maths on that one. But that's about 100 of those barges we're going to need in order to take all of the ones out of the hotels and put them on those barges. I know that you've got army barracks and other places, but they're complaining that, it's inhumane conditions, isn't it?
I had images of them setting them adrift, and they were going to just drift along the English Channel or something. I didn't realise they were going to be moored up,
Yeah.
And they could just come and go as they please. But obviously, that's probably inhumane, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unless they can swim, unless they're bloody good swimmers.
Yeah. Oh, well. Mr. says $18 a hamburger. Okay, thank you. Yours says, because we're a weak, woke, spineless country, the past 20 years, wow, knocks me sick. Absolutely, we are a weak, woke. We need to stop that. We need strong politicians. I mean, It's okay saying that Rishi wasn't, voted in by the British public. Well, give him a chance. He might just turn out to be tougher than some of the others.
I like him, actually.
I quite like him. I like him.
The other thing is, we need immigration. We need people to fill the gap of people that don't want to work on lower wage. Like in fast food restaurants, restaurants, in general, factories, people, also, fruit pickers, stuff like that. We need immigration, but sensible immigration and suited to our needs.
Yeah, but what it is though, you're shoveling shit against the tide. I mean, the fact is, all of those people, all of those illegal immigrants who are coming across in dinghies, they are people who shouldn't have been born in the first place, because they were born about 20 years ago or so, 20 odd years ago. It's a country to put in poor countries which couldn't afford to look after them. They were born into families that couldn't afford to look after them. And now their own countries are shite, absolute shite. And that's why it's...
What makes me laugh, they're coming, a lot of them are coming from countries which China is pumping billions into through infrastructure and stuff like that. But it's not making any bloody difference, is it?
No,
it's not creating jobs. It's just creating jobs for big conglomerate companies.
Yeah.
To build roads and railways and airports and stuff like that. It's not trickling down to the real people in these countries. I do feel sorry for them, but they're coming in illegally. Come in legally,
but they wouldn't get in, would they? I mean, the Albanian criminals who are coming here, I mean, they can't come in legally because they wouldn't get through customs, would they? That's why they can't just come here on a plane. I mean,
exactly. If they're criminals, they shouldn't come here.
Yeah.
In the first place, they should be sent back. A £300 or £200 air ticket, and that's it. That's all it costs. Not like millions. Yeah.
I think personally, that you're just shoveling shit against the tide simply because the big problem. I mean, some people say that in the Western world there's not enough people being born, whereas in the third world, the developing countries, there's far too many people being born, but they are born into poverty, and that's why they end up coming across here in dinghies to escape poverty, and they want to come to a country which is going to give them benefits and going to give them a bit of opportunities and let them get away with murder.
And the thing is, it's not our problem at the end of the day, is it? We got our own problems in our own country, haven't we? So, Britain has got to look at it in a selfish sense.
Yes.
And say, look, you come over here legally.
Yeah.
You come over here, plead asylum and all the rest of it. Sign all the documents and sign, do it all the legal way. And you know, and also the only way you're going to sort out the problem is by stopping these bastards from you know, kind of sending boats over that they're charging all of these poor people like you know hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars. You know, on a false promise that you'll have a better life. You know, they're all criminals. They need to sort the, you know, our security services need to sort this out.
Yeah.
They need to go higher than the government. They need intelligent people to sort the problem out, and the government are not intelligent.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's what's his name? Crypto Chris says the capacity of the barge is less than 1 day's dinghy crossing. I know it's not going to. You're going to need 100 of those barges, and that's just for starters, really, aren't you? Paul Hoskin, ask the Chinese if they will take. I think we know the answers to that one.
The bastards that send those poor people to their deaths, like you know, on that tiny little fishing boat that had 500 people on it.
Yeah.
Half of them drowned, probably.
Yeah.
They didn't even know how many people are on the bloody thing.
Yeah. But apparently they don't like water. They're not come. I mean, but I reckon. I reckon there's going to be some romances going on there. I mean, some of those guys are going to come off that barge, and there's loads of wongers who are planning on having orgies with them. You know. I mean, you know. Oh, that's you know, Jesus Christ. But having said that though, Clive. I mean, if there was a barge full of you know, lovely young Thai birds, 500 of them. I mean, you know, and they wandered into your town, wouldn't you welcome them? Yeah.
I'm trying to divorce one at the moment, and I've just come. There's another. I've just done another letter back saying it's rejected the conditional order, and we need more information. We need P84, the form P84. I've already bloody sent it. The amount of times I've called them and been on their chat room thing. No, I'm falling out in love with Thailand.
Oh, really? Oh, well, that's sorry to
another car crash story.
Oh well. Anyway, B More Ron is in the chat. B More Ron is a great vlogger. He does some great live streams.
Mr. Ronald.
B More Ron, it's great, really great. Maybe one of these nights you can come on the show. You know, if I can send you a link on Facebook, if you're on Facebook. I can send you a link and you can come on and like talk to us anyway. Nice to hear from you, Ron. Anyway,
I've been on a StreamYard as well lately.
Have you really? Yeah.
Putting the world to right.
I wonder how Cheap Charlie is getting on, because he's in Colombia right now, and he's doing some really good live streams. But do you really think it's getting the interest from people? Because at the end of the day, people want to see Thailand, don't they? And
I don't watch Cheap Charlie, to be honest. I don't follow him.
He goes under the name of Billy Blue now. He goes in the name of Billy Blue, and he is he is really a really good live stream. Gemini Star, the UK should follow the Australian immigration system. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that's the toughest country to get in the world, isn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, I've met Australian people who say that there's too many foreigners there. So, and I mean, what makes me laugh about Nigel Farage, you know, it's always made me laugh about him. He appears to hate other countries. You know, he's all for Britain and he hates other countries. But the number of times I've heard him mention, this is how they do it in Australia. I've even heard him mention, this is how they do it in Germany. You know, for someone who hates other countries, he tends to hold them up as a shining example, doesn't he?
Yeah, I do like him, but he, unfortunately, he's got that hooray image, isn't he? You know, it's almost like a Boris Johnson sort of hooray image, isn't it? Hooray Henry image, and it needs someone. It needs somebody which can connect with the nation.
Yeah.
That's got a normal. I hate to say it, but like, I know it sounds bad, but like a normal voice or something like that. That's actually normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Nigel Farage isn't normal. He's loaded, isn't he?
Well, he's yeah, well, yeah, he probably is low, but he's like a throwback to the old politicians, isn't he? In the days when politicians had yeah, you know, in the days when politicians had personality and were very, very articulate and outspoken. When you go back to people like Dennis Healy and Enoch Powell and people like that, he's like a throwback to the olden politicians.
What makes me laugh at any given opportunity though is in a boozer's pub, isn't it?
Yeah.
The geezer's pub, like, you know, swigging back a pint. And
Yeah.
Think, that don't look right.
Yeah. Joe Hart says a Thai or Filipino girl would have to undergo rigorous interviews and numerous checks in order to come to the UK. Okay. I mean, I suppose, like you say, I was laughing at those wongers who were they were probably, well, you know, they were probably, you know, foaming at the mouth. You know, they were getting all sweaty once they seen all these. Yeah, absolutely. But I must admit, I mean, like I say, if a barge pulled up at, you know, 500 lovely, sexy Thai birds on, I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say no.
Well, no, I wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, Yours Travels is telling us in Montpellier, in a basic hotel, it cost me €23 for a chicken burger and €10 for a glass of beer. That's a glass of beer. I wonder how much they pay the waiters that serve it. Jeez, oh Jesus, that sounds expensive, doesn't it? Makes you thankful for Thailand.
I just hope Steve keeps to his regime though.
Yeah.
Because he's been doing well till now. Like
yeah.
He's been going to the gym. He's been keeping his weight down. Fair play to him. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing.
Yeah.
I mean, kudos to Steve.
Yeah. Oh, at least he's having an adventure anyway. He's having an adventure and he's traveling and.
You gotta let your hair down.
Absolutely. You know, speaking of hair, Spider says, I'm bald, middle-aged, single, and a British national born. I'm bred, and you know what? I'll get nothing when I'm in need. Our country is broken. Okay, well said, mate.
That sounds like me. That's bald, middle-aged.
Yeah.
He didn't say that, did he?
Yeah, Joe Hart is getting sexist now. Yeah, quite happy with Hong Kong people to come here. All those cute Chinese girls. Okay. Yeah. Yourself says Charlie, as in Cheap Charlie, is feeling unwell. Also had a panic attack. He's funny. Well, we wish him well anyway. I wish Charlie very, very well in that case. I hope he gets better soon. He's making the effort anyway to go to Colombia. It'll be interesting to see though if.
Probably looked at his bank account.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see if.
I'm just going by his, obviously his handle, his name, like.
Yeah. Paul Hoskin giving us a good recipe there. Okay. Yeah, Rocky Road says Billy Blue had 270 in his chaff for over 4 hours. Well, that's good. That's a good result, isn't it? Well, good for him. And he's making the effort. He's making the effort to travel. So, yeah, I'll watch his streams. Definitely. And anyway, listen, we're going to wrap things up anyway, Clive. Anyway, thanks for coming on, Clive. Anyway. Oh, no, come on. Yeah, anything more that you wanted to say?
Yeah. What was that? Was it Little Britain, where the immigration? What was it? Fly,
oh, yeah.
Fly low, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They were going through immigration, and all they had, right, you're fit, come on through. You're fit, no, sorry, come on.
Yeah.
They were letting all the fit ones through, and all the ugly ones they weren't letting in. That's what we need to do at the airports and the ports.
Okay, no comment on that. No comment on that. Yeah, you didn't think for 1 minute that I was a sexist, did you? Okay. Anyway, thanks for coming on, Clive. Have a great week, and I'll speak to you soon. Anyway, all the best. Anyway, that's Clive McLaren, and it's really, really great for him to call. Because some people. Don't like the idea of phoning that number because they think it's a bit of a scam. Well, Clive has been on lots and lots of times, and David Martin has as well, and John Mitch has been on as well. So there's nothing scandalous about that. There's nothing scandalous you know about that phone number. It's just a pay-as-you-go phone, so whatever it costs, it costs. But anyway, let me tell you about the bank. Somebody mentioned how did I get on with the bank? Excuse me, but a British bank's got their head up their arse. Have they really got their head up their arse? I woke up today and I thought, I've got to get this sorted. Now, the background is this, is that I had an appointment this afternoon because I have an ISA, which is getting no interest on it. And, you know, I wanted to change the ISA to one which I'm going to get interest on, about 5% interest on. Fair enough. So I had an appointment this afternoon. But somebody phoned me up yesterday. A guy phoned me up yesterday. And let me just tell you that the one thing that bloody gets on my tits, I haven't got any of them, but you know what I mean, you know, gets on my titties is when somebody takes something simple and then makes it into something more complicated. It gets on my nerves. So I was in the bank the other day. They gave me an appointment for Tuesday afternoon. I thought, great, appointment Tuesday afternoon, no problem. I'll be there. So somebody phoned me up yesterday and said, about your appointment, Mr. Sweeney, we've cancelled it, but we can do all of this over the phone. We can arrange someone to phone you up, whereas you don't need to go to the bank, and we can arrange your new account over the phone. And I instantly said, no, I'm not doing that, because I don't know this person. I've never seen this person on the other end of the line, and I'm not trusting them, and I'm not going to be giving my bank details out to somebody over the phone. No way. So the guy seemed to say, okay, so he disappeared. And today I woke up and I thought, well, is this was that a scam, or is this still an appointment there? I phoned up and I eventually managed to get through to the head office. A Scottish girl answered. And I said about my appointment this afternoon. And she said, your appointment is still active. Okay. So I told her about the phone call yesterday. And I said, I thought it was a scammer. So how come you're saying that my appointment's still active? So anyway, she said she's going to phone up the bank to see what's happening. And a brief while later, I got a phone call, and it was the geezer from yesterday. He said, yeah, I phoned you yesterday and told you that your appointment was cancelled. I said, you were the guy on the phone yesterday. He said, yeah, that's right. I said, well, listen, you seem surprised that I didn't take your word for it. I do not trust people on the phone, especially then when they want to, ask for details. He said, I didn't ask for details. I said, I know you didn't ask for details, but you were offering me a consultation over the phone, which would have meant that I was going to have to give you the details over the phone. He seemed surprised that I didn't trust him. So anyway, I said, is the you're saying it's cancelled. The girl on the that I spoke to earlier said the appointment's still active. Is the appointment there or is it not? He says, no, it's cancelled, and we'll get back to you sometime in the future. Okay. Now, to go back to what I said, it nauseates me, gets on my nerves when you have something simple like an appointment to see a bank, and then someone comes along and throws a spanner in the works and makes it more complicated. So the question is, have the banks got their head up their ass? That's the question. So anyway, where are we now? Yours Travels, cheers, Clive. Yeah, Clive is a good call. It's always good to have Clive on. Anyways, he's good. And I love his Barat impression. So thanks, Clive, for coming on. Cheers for that. Toby Price. I came to Thailand at 34. One bag, worked on the rigs, built a house, been with my Thai missus 15 years. Don't live in the mad places. Stayed in relaxed areas and visit the party zone sometimes. Sounds like you got a good life. Well done, mate. Well done. Well done to you. Was that Toby Price? Yeah, and Yours Travels is saying, Toby Price, exactly what I'll be doing. Good for you anyway. I think I should join you, shouldn't I? Absolutely. Humongous. Better be safe than sorry. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. David Coleman. I'd let a few young blonde, we can't really say that because it's trivializing what's happening out there. Stay at my place in Toronto, no problem. Well, I mean, if you go to somewhere like Amsterdam, I mean, you know, all those beautiful girls in the windows, and they're all from places like Ukraine, um, Bulgaria, Romania, you know, Poland and Hungary. Oh, they're absolutely gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And I'd welcome them all in my thing. In fact, you can all come and stay in my bedroom. So let's see. Gemini Star, Toby Price, you're living the dream, fella. Okay. Joe Hart, you did the right thing, Eddie. Absolutely. I mean, the thing is, yeah, you know, even at the risk of making a fool of yourself, do not trust anyone on the phone. And especially if they start asking you this. I phoned up the bank, the official bank number that it said on the, you know, in the invitation slip, the appointment. And I phoned them up and gave them a couple of my details over the phone, security and all of that. So I trust them. But someone phones you out of the blue, don't trust them. You don't know who the hell they are. They may seem, you know, official, but they could be bastards. Lenny, hi Ed. I watched your Koh Tao video. I want to do my gap year there, but mum and dad are worried now because of the island reputation. Well, it wasn't me who caused that island reputation. Koh Tao, the young people there. I suppose you've got to look at it statistically. Statistically, you've got more chance of getting run over there in the street in Britain. Koh Tao is a beautiful, beautiful place, but yeah, it does have a reputation. There's no doubt about that. So be careful. Humongous. Knowing my luck, if I offer to host a Ukrainian, probably end up with one looking like Susan Boyle. No, yeah, okay. Citizen Mikey. A lot of Polish birds are fed. Oh, yeah, lovely. Oh, absolutely. I agree. Yeah, here's some advice for you from Bobby Crush, Lenny. Lenny, don't go there. You're funded mafia murderers. Well, that's quite doom and gloom, isn't it? Cab over my cab over Mike. I went to bank TSB to pay in 560 in a week, and nobody behind counters. Just one assistant and a machine inside to pay money into a machine. Told me I could pay in 500 quid max online. Oh God! I went in the bank for the first time in God no, in months and months. I walked into the bank the other day, and there was one person attending in that bank, one bloody person. Masa, have you been to Bulgaria before, Eddie? My friend and his wife are moving there soon. I'm looking forward to going to visit them and checking out the local town. I went to Bulgaria about 20 years ago, and it's a nice country. Unfortunately, I went in the month of September. Unfortunately, the weather was a bit bad at the time, so I missed out on sunny beach and all of that. But yeah, I thought it wasn't really geared up for travelers. It's probably easier to travel around Southeast Asia than it is in Bulgaria. But yeah, the local towns, Bulgarian girls are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Gemini Star, Eastern European women are amazing. Okay. Yeah, yours travels. Koh Tower is amazing. Love it. Also love Koh Lanta. Koh Tower is run by a family and not government or police. Yeah, be careful on Koh Tower. It does have a bit of a reputation. McLaren says, wonder if Susan Boyle is a Wonga. She can probably afford to be. Mazza says, best bird I've been with was Romanian. I've met a few lovely, lovely Romanian girls, and they're fine. They're not all like out to rob you. They seem very, very polite and friendly. You Mungo, you Mungo, Subo definitely goes in a prowl with Lisa Dale in the Gambia. Oh, they'd make a right couple, they would, wouldn't they? Yeah, Bobby Crush. If I want to feel like I'm in a foreign country, I just stay in England. save a fortune on airfares, and they have English breakfasts. Okay, okay. So on that note, we've spoke about enough anyway. So I've been on about 1.5 hours now. I think that's about enough for tonight. We've had a nice little chat last night and tonight. Now I know that I say this, but I'll try and do a pop-up stream at the weekend. I've been doing other things, including writing a book as well. I'm having heaps of fun doing that. I'm going to try and get it out on Kindle or whatever in the autumn time. We'll see about that. But I'm having heaps of fun doing that. But listen, guys, I'm going to finish now anyway. I'm going to finish now. I'm going to say goodnight. Thanks to Clive for coming on, and he's always a great guest. And anyway, and stay safe and have a great week. And I'll see you towards the weekend. I'll definitely try and make the effort to do a pop-up stream this weekend. Listen, guys. Final word to Eastern man. I find Eastern European women cold and miserable and stuck up their own asses. Okay, and on that note, I'll say good night. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you towards the weekend. Have a great week, guys. Cheers.